back to the final episode of the Bad Questions Worst Answers podcast. Each week I, Connor, along with my friend Charlie,
hey there,
present a bad question to the others, then we attempt to explore these bad questions with the worst answers. Was that passionate enough? Did I exude passion?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good delivery, like a noticeably solid run into the pod. I feel like we're off to a hot start here.
I'll have to review that because I've been getting a lot of hate comments about my enthusiasm in my videos, and people say I'm just not interested.
Are you referring to what happened in the Discord a half hour ago? Yeah.
Yes. The atrocity that happened in the Discord, Connor's Piss World.
And what yeah, okay, there we go.
It's in the join the link in the bio, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I came out with a new video called FaZe Rug Saves Humanity. Great video. One of my best, I believe. It's only getting up from here, guys. Anyway, Doom, a friend of the show, popular commenter on the channel, said I just asked for some feedback because I like to get feedback, criticism, what I can do better on my videos, and he said, "You just seemed uninterested." But I like.
And boy, did he take some shit for it.
Yeah,
and boy, did he go down hard for that comment.
Yeah. Oh, I have to fucking adjust this camera. Sorry, guys. There's going to be a lot of adjusting the camera in this unless I find a better device for it. But
no, that's fun. It's kinetic. It brings energy and some vibrancy to the pod.
We're breaking the fourth wall here. And yeah,
can I jump in? Oh, sorry. Finish your point.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to... I'll go, and then you go. Okay.
You sure? I can jump in now. Okay.
I'll go, and then... Okay.
I'll be here. I'm ready.
Okay. And yeah, he said, I like the writing, thought it was funny or whatever, but you just seemed uninterested. So I'm trying to find ways to act. I already have a dry delivery. People don't really know how to take it. I just I'm pretty blunt in my delivery, and I guess people can take that in the wrong way. Sometimes I think it adds to the humor, the dryness of it all. But what the fuck do you want me to do? Do you want me to be Mr. Beast or Eric or Colin's Keywords? Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the video. Today we're gonna be shitting on Sniper Wolf today again. So what's going on? We're watching this video and do we want me to be that? Obviously that was an extreme version. Obviously,
let me tell you, if you carry on that bit any longer, I will leave the pod permanently.
Yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, it's bad. I understand where you're coming from, and we both suffer greatly from being, I don't want to say dry people comedically, because that implies that we're funny, and I don't want to force that assumption or that fact on anyone. But we're both very dry in our delivery of anything, and that can make it hard to relate to people sometimes. And I'm certain difficult in a pod sense, or in a content creation sense, to relate and connect to an audience sometimes.
It's tough. I've been working on it. I think I'm doing a good job now of sort of conveying an enthusiastic, passionate, not so dry of a tone. But I love the dry comedy. I'll still play into that, but I think I'm just gonna review back to this pod when I feel like I'm not doing it. I'm just not there. And so I'm going to look back to this pod and hopefully we get some comments saying, "Wow, Connor, you seem passionate. You seemed like you cared about doing this podcast." So,
maybe this is your warm-up music. Next time you're making a video, you put on your headset, you get in your Zen space, because that's every actor has to, and I'm sure you do that when you're making a commentary video. But maybe that's just sort of looping that intro is what you'll need.
Yeah. I just have to review, know that I'm hitting it. Yeah, it was... It really rubbed me the wrong way. But you know what? We just got to take it in stride. And, yeah. Also, we have professional cameras today. Well, at least I do. The pod looks nicer.
Yeah. We're up in the we're doing better. That's what I have to say.
Yeah.
I had on off the top of the show, you referred to Doom as a friend of the show, and I want to know what is a friend of the show. Obviously, everyone's heard the term; it's used far more often than it has any right to be. But what is it? Because I used to think it was maybe like someone that's been on the show, but Doom hasn't been on the show. But I'd agree he's a friend of the show.
I think a friend of the show constitutes someone who is a regular that comes back to the CCU, the Connor Cinematic Universe, and regularly comments, interacts with me in some way in a somewhat intimate, personal fashion where we sort of build a rapport, a relationship with each other. And I think Doom is one of the first to do that. For someone who we don't know personally, I think he's built quite the relationship, a reputation, we would say, on the channel, the podcast.
Do we have to agree on who friends of the show are? Or like if someone gets close to you and you think of them as a friend of the show, but I'm a little iffy still, what happens then?
I think outside of the BQWA, if I'm chummy with someone, I think I can call them a friend of the show. But if it's within the BQWA, I would say that is a little bit dicier territory. But I think Doom is a friend of the show because he comments regularly on the pod and the videos.
I agree on Doom, but I'm just saying down the road, since we like to air out all our grievances and behind the scenes disputes on air, I'm just wondering if down the road, if I take issue with the friend of the show, if I have any kind of a veto power. Obviously, only in the BQWA sphere.
Yeah,
the rest of your content, I think you can have your own friends.
I think, yeah, if you feel like you need a veto, I would say go for it. I would say, okay. I mean, I like the reputation that we've built with our audience to where if they do something at least slightly questionable, somewhat negative in the light of me or you, they get shit on full well. Like they face the wrath of me.
We've created an echo chamber of it's a positive feedback loop that we've made.
Yeah, we've created a real healthy, safe space in this universe that we've built,
wherein no one seeks growth or improvement. Only just the same.
Yeah, we only fake growth by me asking for it, and if someone tells me wrong, they get shit on relentlessly, and then we'll forget about it the next day. And it's this kind of like constant loop of like, who's it gonna be today? Of who says something a little bit off color?
Who's gonna try and have an honest opinion?
Yeah,
that's what it's gonna be, and we're not gonna accept those. We sort of like to stand back. I think it's fair to say we kind of sideline a little bit, but we let our raving fans jump in and shoot down any controversial negative feedback.
Because what happened about an hour or so ago, we didn't really do any of the legwork. It was kind of just the other people that were in the Discord, like Seabass or Colin, that just kind of took it to town. I'm fine with that.
It did surprise me, though, just how quickly, I don't know, I guess I forget sometimes that we're, like, operating on the internet. Boy, that was disappointing. And, yeah, just how quickly, like, the shoot down happened. I mean, it was intense.
Yeah. Yeah, it was bad. Do you want to get into the question first, or do you want to get into a rant first?
Let's do the rant. I think the rants. I know what's coming here, and I think it's important we get this off our chests. Otherwise, we won't be able to focus on the question.
Yeah. I'm thinking about this a lot, and this also happened today in like a 4-hour time span. I enjoy doing laundry to some extent, but I hate it when it takes longer than it needs to. Like if it takes me 4 hours, 5 to do laundry, I'm like, I'm fucking irritated. Like it shouldn't be happening. And when your clothes get out of the dryer and they're still damp, Like, that doesn't need to be happening either. It's just annoying, and like they get wrinkly, and like I'm not gonna wear them until I forget that they're wrinkled and I put them on again like a month later. It's just annoying. And in my apartment complex, there's like a little villa in the middle of kind of all the centering apartment complexes, and they're just blasting music. There's a keep in mind we're still in a pandemic, and there are 15 people, predominantly men. There are some women.
That's more than 10, Connor. By my math, that 15 is exceeding the 10 by nearly 50%.
No masks on. They're all partying. They're blasting music. It's like Pitbull, Kesha. I love Kesha. Pitbull's a little bit questionable unless you listen to it like someone ironically, but you know, it was you know, and they're assumingly drinking, and I don't want to move too close to that perimeter so they aren't like, hey,
yeah,
what are you doing? And I don't want to be. I have no interest in being a part of that. So I purposely like went around, away from them so I could get as little exposure to them as possible. I think it worked. And it's just the only thing. I hate damp clothes. That is the one thing that drives me insane. And also, I didn't wash mine at my girlfriend's place. Sarah's friend of the show, Sarah. Shout out.
Enemy.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Enemy of the show. Until we have her on again. But who knows if we're going to make those amends. It really depends.
We've potentially secured another diversity hire.
Yeah.
Which would be significant.
It would be a big moment. I think it would show the character of us and the growth.
Little bit of a plug for next week.
Yeah. We've been doing a lot of plugging for for future episodes. Like last week we plugged for this episode for my question, and
I think we should keep that up. I thought that was a fantastic little element.
Yeah, I think we should keep people interested and see what's going on.
What else do you have on laundry? I think we should just air it all out. I guess that's sort of.
It's just like the people, the social interaction too. Like there's been too many times where I've been in the laundry room and I'll be sitting there waiting for my laundry. There's like 3 minutes left, and someone that's also doing it, which is pretty rare, but it still happens, where someone will be there and they'll just start talking to me about like, oh, this place fucking sucks and blah blah blah, and I'm like, that's cool. Like,
we've talked many times on the show about small talk and our mutual distaste for it. But I think that kind is one of the worst, where there's sort of an indefinite amount of time that conversation could take place, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no clear end. It's a little different if you're in an elevator or something. You know, like you sort of know you've got to kill 30 seconds or whatever. But with that, it could go on for a while, but neither of you have the steam to keep it going. And so it's the kind of thing that's guaranteed to end awkwardly, 100% of the time. And those to me are indefensible, because it's not just pleasant small talk. It's gonna end in an uncomfortable, like, stunted way.
And normally the person who starts it has a grievance to air that's really just unsolicited to anybody. And I mean, you can say that with our podcast, but people voluntarily want our unsolicited opinions. So
we're not like walking into a Wendy's and just like putting this on a Bluetooth speaker and letting it run, you know?
Yeah,
like,
we're not walking. Yeah, we're not walking into Burger King and just being like, man, these fucking cheeseburgers suck. Like, what the hell? This place sucks. The Burger King down the street does way better, guys. What are we doing? And then everyone's like, why are you here in the first place? Like,
these people, the viewers of this particular content, like, walked into a Burger King that was called BQWA and then asked for this. Like, they asked
that's
for
what
this
they ordered. Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't just go in and start yelling at them.
Yeah.
like the guy in the laundromat. I've got some laundry criticisms too, and that is every laundry machine that I've encountered that is accessible to a college student is complete shit and just ruins my clothes. And I'm not like a clothy. What do you call someone that's into clothes? Is there a name for that?
I mean, you can say like a hype beast, but that's still
No.
yeah, that's not it.
Okay. I don't care a particularly large amount about my clothes, but I can just like tell like after a couple washes like black is just no longer black. It's like a shitty like fading gray, and these shitty machines just ruin stuff, and it really pisses me off because then I have to buy more, and that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And I and so many of them are just like straight up broken too. Like I go to another apartment complex that my friend lives at to do my laundry, and they've got like a few different rooms scattered around the place, and a lot of times I have to like wash in one but then dry in another because both the dryers in
That's
that one are
incredibly
fucked up,
annoying.
or like or it's like app operated. It's a super horrible app that barely connects to the washers, and so sometimes it makes me like double pay. So I end up spending like 75 cents just to wash one load of clothes,
And that's
which is
horrendous.
annoying because it didn't get the first one. Instead, I have to switch machines and do it on that one, or it won't sense that the door's closed. It's just like we should have this figured out by now, right? Like we're getting
Yeah.
4K footage back from Mars, and I can't send payment to a laundry machine like accurately and consistently. Blows my mind.
Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, this is a human right that's being taken away. That we don't need to get into that, but it's not a human right. It's just shitty washing machines.
Yeah, we should become like a political podcast since I feel like we do have an intellectual edge to our pod. I think we could easily divert into just how people should think, run, talk.
Yeah,
I think that would be a great angle for us.
couple of extremists coming in hot.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the questions. So last week we teased something. I believe it had to do with God, and
We touched on God. We touched on a long history of loss and suffering.
yes, a long history. Yes. So my question is, what is the most creative thing to give up for Lent? And for those who don't know, Lent, I think it's Catholic. Some people say it's Christian. I don't know. I have no idea.
Our info starts off with that.
I don't know. Anyway, I practice Lent, and you're not supposed to eat meat on Fridays or eat meat on Ash Wednesday, which is like the start of Lent, and you're supposed to give something. You're supposed to give up something extra. And when I went to Catholic school when I was a youngin', up until like 7th grade, I think you were supposed to give like you were supposed to like spell out or just like as an assignment say what you're giving up for Lent, and it's always the same stuff. I'm gonna give up. I think one time in the 1st grade, I said I was gonna give up gummy worms. Like I thought I ate a lot of gummy worms. Like I don't like okay. Anyway.
That's going to be appreciated. Like that's the kind of stuff that determines your afterlife.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm going to give up chocolate," or I mean, people will treat it as like a New Year's resolution, and they'll be like, "I'm going to go to the gym," and none of this pans out. It like, and it's the most uninspired. It's even more uninspired than a New Year's resolution because no one does it, and it's even for the less. it's even for a lesser time. It's 40 days that you're like supposed to give something up.
My mom has a really interesting approach to handling Lent that I've always found admirable, and that is my family's not particularly religious or even really religious at all, but she's kind of spiritual or however you'd want to call it, and she sort of likes to take the opportunity to sacrifice something, a little bit of self-growth, that kind of thing. The same reasons everybody would try to do a little bit of Lent action. And every year she just gives up something that is so far from anything she has a problem with. It's just ridiculous. Like she'll be like, "I'm going to give up human trafficking for Lent this year." You know, I'm going to 40 hard days
I'm gonna
of
give up
trying not
racism today.
to commit a crime against humanity. And it's just like, Mom, like that's never a thing. I mean, it's not to that extreme. Normally it's like alcohol, but she drinks like 10 times a year or so. Like it's just it's something where she's in her mind she's giving it up and it's a sacrifice and she's committing to
Yeah.
doing this thing and that's great and good. But I always just find it hysterical because it's something that she has no actual like there's
Yeah.
no work that has to
Yeah,
go into
there's
making
yeah,
happen.
and I think that's a big issue. It's like me in first grade saying I'm gonna give up gummy worms for Lent. I don't really eat that many gummy worms to begin with, so why am I giving it up? I just like want to know something that's like has the littlest amount of validity in the whole giving up sphere.
So we're going for the smallest thing to give up.
Like the most creative thing. What's the most original idea that?
Hmm.
Because I guess assumingly it has to be a vice of some sort. Be
I was gonna ask, is the point of Lent, and maybe you don't know this, but is it um to like have like self growth? Is that the point, or is it more on the lines of like giving something up? Like what's the greatest personal sacrifice?
well, you're I don't know. I'm not really that religious person either, but I took a lot from I remember a lot of stuff from Catholic school, and we would have these really hard ass priests where they would say, like, you're gonna give this up, and you're gonna give it up after Lent. Like you have to continue this sacrifice.
Aren't they kind of
Um,
missing the point?
and it's
I should question that.
and it's weird because at a like if you live for however long and you do like if for like 40 or even 20 years of Lent, how are you really going to think of 20 things to give up and never do again?
Hmm.
like
So the
like
serious people do it cumulatively. Is that what you're saying?
that's what I would assume. That's what the priest told
Uh,
me. I can't think of anyone who's actually stuck to a Lent um promise, but
yeah, I can't think of 79 years worth of bad things that I do,
yeah.
assuming that's kind of like a rough lifespan. I don't know. It's an interesting challenge, and I think there's like I think it's probably not particularly new territory to find the smallest thing to give up for Lent, because I think most people are trying to do that pretty much every year. Like, what's the thing that is the
Yeah.
smallest that seems like a commitment? Um, but I do wonder if it's something like, what if you gave up walking? Like you just like
Yeah,
hopped
there's a lot of people that will be like, I'm gonna give up going to the gym. Uh that's
everywhere.
they'll
See, that guy's
which it
fun.
isn't really like giving up. Well, I mean, you are giving up something, but if you really love the gym, then sure. Like that's fine.
Hmm.
But you're hurting yourself. But I guess like that's the point. Like you're supposed to suffer in a the gym is a weird one because
Oh,
you're like the gym is a because it's not like a vice. Like there is
yeah.
no net negative in going to the gym, really. Like unless like you're doing SARMs or some sort of like anabolic steroid going to the gym, like there is really no net negative in lifting weights. Like that's saying, hashtag Connor fat loss at the beginning of the year. That's like me saying, you know what, I'm just gonna like give up on I think like 10 weeks of progress I've made now. I'm just gonna throw that down the drain.
Uh-huh.
But
I've
I
got a
guess
good one.
yeah, go
I
for it.
think. What if the point is to suffer? and then if you think of Lent as just a 40-day thing, I think that's an
Well,
important
I
qualifier.
think I think they emphasize stuff. I think they do emphasize like giving up something that you like. It's overall like uh, it's something good or like you enjoy in your life that you give up. But also, people will be like, "I'm gonna be a better person for Lent" or something, or like they're gonna take an actionable way to be a better person or something.
So what if I came at it and said, I'm gonna give up fending off alcoholism.
What is that?
I'm gonna stop trying not to become an alcoholic.
Yeah,
Can you do that?
that's a good one. I think
Definitely gonna suffer for it.
yeah, I'm gonna try and fend off becoming some sort of drug addict. I've been thinking about it. I've been the thoughts have been getting the thoughts and blah blah
Yeah,
blah,
yeah.
and I'm just gonna cut it out. I'm I'm bringing it out. I don't know.
I think there's yeah, I mean it's tough to say that that was the intent that you suffer in that way. Uh but I really can't imagine anything more like life altering that you could give up and suffer from like not doing
Well,
like
yeah,
that. I mean,
that's
that
it.
stuff ruins your life.
Yeah,
You can't.
the more I think about this, like, wouldn't it be wouldn't it be more like positive, or wouldn't it be more constructive and productive to do something that has a better impact on yourself? And I mean, like a New Year's resolution, like I'm gonna go to the
Huh.
gym, but
Yeah, it is.
also
It is
like
kind of.
in
Go
the
ahead.
spirit of Lent. Sorry, I'm steamrolling this. Anyway, uh like the spirit of it is like you're supposed to suffer because Jesus died on the cross for us all. This is getting real spicy in the religion section. Um, uh,
Comment
and
religion below.
yes, comment. Let's comment down like your denomination and what church you belong to, or
Jesus suffered on the cross. I want to see everybody throwing that down for us
that's
all.
awful. Um, yeah, you're supposed to. But like, what is something that like you were gonna suffer so hard for? Like,
Yeah,
that's
I,
something
I
I
to
don't
me
get.
it's kind of now the way you phrase that it made me realize it's kind of a regressive thing, you know? Like it's bringing in many ways kind of a net negative to the world, right? Like it's asking everyone to suffer, which is like sort of understandable, like from the religious perspective of this dude gave up everything for us.
So
Um,
yeah, you give up something
yeah, so
like
you give up alcohol that you never drink, mom. Um, but at the same time, wouldn't it be better if it was like he suffered for us all? Let's give back, right? Like let's give for 40 days, you know?
yeah,
Let's
that
like
that's like that's a good like let's give what Jesus gave to us. But I guess that's more like Christmas. Like I guess I don't like there isn't like a specific season for it or anything you're supposed to do, but Jesus was born and he gave us his life, so we're supposed to give, but now that he's dying, we're supposed to suffer in some way.
yeah, but there's some degree of modesty, I think, to admitting we can never sacrifice in the way that Jesus
Yeah.
did. I'm getting a little too concrete with my religious speak here. I don't want to be too firm on that because it's not something I personally am passionately in belief of. But if we are taking the Bible story at face value, um, it's I think like it's the humility that you need to be able to admit like I can never give up what he gave up, but I can give back and I can make the lives of those around me better. So here's my thing. The most creative thing to give up for Lent is your money, right? Or like your food or something like that. And you
That's
give
a
that up and you give it back.
we should call up some priests and tell them this cuz I think this is a genius idea.
I think it's a game changer.
I
I think
think,
it's
yeah,
huge.
I genuinely, that kind of changes my whole perspective on what the spirit of Lent should be. I don't know, like, I think that's
I'm
kind of
feeling pretty
powerful.
saucy about it.
I think, I think that's good. I think, no, I'm serious. I think that's like a really, like, I think, like, on a serious, like, note, I think that's, like, unironically kind of powerful in, like, the thought of, like, you're giving up, but you're giving to other people. I don't know.
Or here's maybe another, like, even a better way that accounts for the suffering a little bit. If you say, I'm going to give up my entertainment budget for this month. I spend, I don't know, $100 or something a month on maybe your I don't know, keep your Netflix or whatever, so you don't have to renew it. But like, I'm going to give up $100 for, like, a nice dinner out or something like that, or going to see a movie or two. Not that that's a thing right now. Um, I'm gonna give that up and I'm gonna give that back. So I'm gonna suffer a little bit, like I'm gonna feel it a little bit, but it's like it's being fed back into the system in a
Mm-hmm.
positive way. It's not just like inert.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's good.
I'm gonna give up a little bit of my selfishness for the month or for the 40 day Lent period. That's what I'm doing.
I think that's good.
Is
Yeah,
Lent happening right now? Forgive my ignorance.
yeah. I think it started like in the late February, and it ends on Easter's on April 4th. So
Are you allowed to change your Lent thing?
I think so.
We should
I don't
encourage
see
it
why
then.
not.
I think we shouldn't. Well, I should not uh, or put myself into matters of religion. Uh, but I think we found a nice thing, and I've not heard of people trying to do this kind of thing before.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we hit the nail on the head with
I
that
think we
one.
found a really nice thing. What are we at time wise?
We're at like 30 some minutes.
Okay, we
Yeah, we're at like a little over 30.
last week we wanted to touch on the movie If Beale Street Could Talk, and I don't believe we did.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think that's I saw it recently. I was trying to participate in the Discord actually at the same time, and ended up just floundering on the Discord end of things because I kept getting it. Just sucked me in. Like it pulled. There were the only other movies that I can think of that were like this for me were The Favorite, Yorgos Lanthimos's The Favorite,
I need to
and
watch
then
that.
it's phenomenal. I made the mistake of trying to show it to my parents and grandparents and forgot about how incredibly crude and
Isn't Emma Stone is
yeah,
this
yeah. Anyway, don't show it to your your parents and grandparents because there's some real
was there like
it,
tits in it or what?
there's a lot of stuff. Just don't do it. But absolutely watch the
Yeah, it's
movie.
the guy
It's
who made The
fantastic.
Lobster, so and
Yeah, and
yeah.
Killing of a Sacred Deer
I need to see
and
that
yeah.
one too.
Anyway, love his stuff. But The Favorite and Parasite are the only other two movies that I can think of where I literally like would just get so sucked in, like just pulled into it, tractor beamed into it. And I didn't like it as much as I like those two movies necessarily, but there are some incredible scenes, and I thought there were like points of emotion and like storylines and things that I'd never seen, really shown or displayed in any way.
Yeah,
Like,
it's really it's really great. I think it's been a year or so since I've seen it, so I don't remember a ton of it. And the way I watched it, it was pretty casual. Like I was kind of on like a I go on like these like phases where I'll try and watch a movie every night. Um and I'll do it for like a week and then taper off. But I watched If Beale Street Could Talk in like my really small bedroom with like my with these headphones on. Um and yeah, I think it's a really great movie. It's Barry Jenkins. He does a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, I saw Moonlight finally recently. Both were ones that I'd wanted to see forever, but I have a real problem where when there's a movie I really want to see and I want to like focus on it and give it the time, I end up just putting it off forever because I'm like, no, I'm not in the right state for it
Yeah.
yet. I'm not like mentally prepared for the movie yet. And then I end up waiting a whole like year or like 3 or whatever in the case of Moonlight to finally see it. But yeah, both really, really good.
When I got Letterbox, that really incentivized me to watch more movies. And I have an HBO
Hmm.
subscription that I only use really now to watch Gossip Girl. I just like with school and everything just being really busy, and also trying to get YouTube like off the ground. Like it I just like don't have time to like watch let alone game really.
Mhm.
Like today's been really the only day to like do extracurricular stuff because I got a bunch of homework to do tomorrow when this is uploaded. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but anyway, um, yeah, I need to watch more movies.
I try and do not maybe the movie every night thing, but I do try and like start a movie or something as opposed to just like sit on my phone and scroll through Reddit, which I'm
Yeah,
so unentertained by, like so consistently. Just could not care less about it. Um, yeah. What do you have you seen any movies that are in the like Oscar conversation for this year?
is the Oscar list out?
No, I don't think the nominees are out, but there's like there's all sorts of like the front runner predictions, and I don't really give a shit. I think the
Uh,
Oscars are kind of BS, but they're like
I
a
haven't I haven't
marker
seen
for
any of the
sure.
predictions. I'm trying to think of what movies I've seen this year.
I finished Nomadland
I need to
this
watch that.
morning,
I need to
and I thought, go ahead.
I just know that's on Hulu.
Yeah, I really really liked that. That's probably my favorite of all the ones I've seen, and I've actually seen more than I thought. Now that I'm scrolling through here, there's Trial of Chicago 7, Minari. I really want to see.
I need to
I've
see
seen Ma
those
Rainey's
two.
Black Bottom, One Night in Miami. I need to get to still. Promising Young Woman's the same. I've seen Mank, The
Make
Five
bad.
Bloods. Mank. Yeah, I didn't care for it either, honestly. I
Yeah,
mean, it seems very like awardsy, but I did not
it's
find it like
Fincher's.
entertaining.
Yeah, I don't think it's Fincher's best. Um,
Have you seen News of the World?
no, what's that?
It's a I think it's on Netflix, but it's a Tom Hanks thing about news, which he seems to do a lot of movies about. I'm just so like I like actively am trying to avoid it just because I hate just like the daily Netflix new movie, watch me now
Yeah, I
bullshit.
feel
Like
like I can't
leave me
catch
alone.
up. Yeah, I need to see the Five Bloods, the Chadwick Boseman like final movie.
That's
Um,
fantastic.
I need to see Judas and the Black Messiah. That's on
Me
HBO.
too.
Promising Young Woman I've heard is great. Minari,
Is
Trial of
Promising
Chicago
Young Woman
7.
on anything?
I don't know. Let me look.
Yeah, I yeah the whole Netflix deal with like every week there's like there a new movie out and they're
It is not on
churning.
anything.
Oh, it's not okay. Yeah, they're just churn them out, and it really bugs me. Like I get why, like obviously it makes sense, but I'm so actively trying to avoid just like accepting the monotony of like here's another movie that's aimed at a wide audience and well done, like well made, well produced. It's my problem
Yeah.
with the MCU, and that's a bigger thing. But yeah, I don't know. Randomly, I'll pick a movie that comes out on Netflix and just say I'm not going to watch it on principle. And News of the World is that movie right now, for better or worse.
Oh, yeah, I've seen posters for this. I feel like Tom Hanks has been just like putting out really just like they're like fine movies, but they're just like they don't look interesting. They just seem really middle of the road. And I don't know if that's just cuz Tom Hanks has been in a lot of stuff lately, but I don't know. I just
Yeah, I
I'm
do want to see Greyhound just because like that time period and the subject matter is really interesting to me. But
yeah.
I don't have Apple TV and I don't really care that much. The Father is another one that's on this list I've got here that I really want to see. I've heard the performances in that are really incredible.
The Anthony Hopkins, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, I think at this point, having seen what I have, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or Nomadland are my favorites. Really loved both of them.
Yeah, I need to see all those. All right, well that was movie hour.
Yeah, just covering a little bit of movies. Get out there, see the quality movies.
They're good.
That's
people don't know that we're also into culture like that. So
yeah, couple of film guys. I hate that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so gross being into film, but I guess you kind of have to accept it at some point.
Yeah.
Do we want to try and tease next episode at all? We sort of teased that we might have.
Yeah, we might have a friend of the show come back, a diversity hire.
It's a small list.
Yeah, it's a small list, so you can only pick one, and I think all of our diversity hire episodes did somewhat well. But it's the most it was a popular diversity hire.
Yeah, we think they have a lot to offer the show, and they actually, I think this is worth plugging, asked to come back on.
Yeah, they. I mean, if that doesn't say how we treat our guests, I mean, how messy it gets behind the scenes, but when we hit the record button, we're peaches, I think.
I've signed 6 NDAs relating to this podcast in the last day. I
mean,
there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes here.
There is a lot of paperwork behind this podcast that people don't get to see. It's hard, guys.
They think that I come out and air my grievances and try and take care of business related issues on air. They have no idea.
The legwork that this podcast takes is it's a lot.
Yeah. So
yeah,
appreciate it.
Yeah, take it or leave it, guys. Love it.
I think it's maybe a little bit alarming, Connor, how often we have to tell our audience to appreciate the work we do. I feel like a lot of other content creators aren't demanding that their audience give them positive feedback and positive reinforcement in the same way we do. Do you think that's a problem?
I don't think that's a problem at all. I think...
Good. Neither do I.
I think the amount of legwork and that this show just takes in general, I think just showing the audience that they need to be more appreciative is I think is a great thing.
Yeah, so on that note, please be nicer.
Yes, on that note, be nicer, be like Doom, go through our entire backlog of content, the podcast episodes and my videos, so we can keep doing this.
So that we can make money. We want money and fame.
Yes. We want all of this. Our Patreon is coming within the next few weeks. I've actually thought about setting that up and just getting, and also new merch too. I need to make. I have I think I have kind of a cool merch idea.
So buy the current merch now before. Oh wait, is there merch still?
Yeah, I don't really plug it that much just because I've just kind of not really been that interested in it.
Buy the merch because it might go away soon. It could be limited edition.
That is
and when
true.
we achieve the fame and infamy and incredible income streams that we expect to, within the next 3 weeks, I've made a lot of investments that I'm not going to be able to keep if we don't pull this off very soon. So
we're going to the moon, guys. It's been a great podcast episode.
Diamond hands, baby.
Yes, let's get these tendies. And yeah, we'll see you next week.
Awesome.